Hi, and welcome back to Sticks and Strings. I'm Naomi.
I'm Beth.
I'm Eve.
And we are all here back. Happy Easter.
Yes.
Happy Easter.
Happy Easter.
And April's in full swing. And we're alternating roasting hot summer and winter weather here. And then have a couple days when I'm so hot, and then other days when I've been freezing all day.
Well, and the house will be sweltering, and I'll go over here to the thermostat, and it's 80 degrees, and I'm like, okay, I guess I have to turn the air conditioner on.
Yeah.
And I turn it on, and a little while later,
it's freezing.
it's like an igloo in here.
Or my problem is,
and it's not like I have it set to be really cold. I don't.
Yeah, I'm cold in the morning, and then so like today I wore a long sleeve shirt to work and a jacket, and now I'm like, oh, so hot.
Well, you know, I had turned off my ceiling fan, I guess last, in the winter, and it was okay until just a few days ago when it started to get hot.
Yeah.
So I turned it back on, and I have my window open a crack, and then like a couple of days it got real cold, and I turned off the ceiling fan. I left the window open. But I was like huddling under my blankets and pulling cats on me and everything, and then now all of a sudden it's like I turned the ceiling fan on.
It's
again.
80
it's
degrees
all stuffy
outside.
And hot. Yeah.
I have a boo-boo on my finger from hand sewing in my jacket. Okay, I'm gonna go first.
Okay.
I'm gonna go first. I only have 2 projects that I've been working on. So on Tuesday, so you remember the sweaters workshop that I was doing, the little sampler thing?
Mm-hmm.
I didn't finish it. But I decided to jump off the deep end and started a sweater. So here's the sweater I started, and it's the bottom rib right there, and I've gotten that far.
It's a lot.
Yeah, I just started on Tuesday. It's bulky yarn, so it's going fast.
Was that what you were working on during the rehearsal?
Yeah, I cast it on Tuesday night, and I had to fix the ribbing. So it's getting there. It's got a ways to go, but it's bulky, so it goes fast, and I kind of want to try to finish it quickly. But the big news is my jacket. Okay. Oh, sorry, I got messes here. All right. Let's see here. Here's the back. Hold it over Beth. Cover Beth. Here's the back. And I put that brightly colored square there.
I love it.
And so that's square in the middle of my back. So I kind of digging that. And this hurts very much. I got my booster shot yesterday. And my arm hurts. Okay, so there's the back. Oh, I don't have my prop chair next to me. Oh, so that's the back. And here are pocket. Oh, I'm very proud of pocket. We're going to talk about pockets. Here's the front, the 2 fronts. So I was upset because I think I organized the squares and then sewed them upside down, cut them upside down. So they don't match, but I kind of like it. They alternate. You see, like, here, turn it the other way, Eve. Turn it around. They alternate, star, 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 that way. So I think it's okay. I kind of like it. And then I put these in. I'm so proud of these. They're welt pockets. It's got a little bit of it's called a welt, this piece of fabric right here. And then this is what it looks like in the back, and I bound it with bias tape and hand sewed it down. So the opening is behind this, so it's all enclosed on the inside, and I finished the edges with the bias tape here, and that's why my finger hurts from hand sewing. But one of them, here's a story for fudging things. One of these welts is too short, and there's a big gap right here, and you have to sew the sides down so that it so it doesn't wear down. But so when I sewed it down, I got I think it's this one right here. It's too short, and so I just used the thread when I sewed down the side to pull it taut, and it didn't wrinkle up too bad. But I was very upset, but I was like, hey, I put in a welt pocket. I'm so proud of it. So, you know, your hand just goes right in there, and you got a nice jacket pocket on the front. It's not going anywhere. It's nice and sturdy. And it's not a patch, because the other option was doing a patch pocket, and I'm so glad I chose to brave it. So those are my fronts. And then remember last week when I was crying because I didn't have enough fabric to make the sleeves look like this. I didn't have enough squares. So I decided to choose one of the batiks, and this is my sleeve.
I love it. I think it's gonna look fabulous.
So I'm gonna have these dark blue sleeves, and I just did a diagonal. I'll put a close up of it, but a diagonal quilting. So that's my sleeve color against this body color, which I think it'll look nice. It'll kind of look like I'm wearing a vest. And this looks a lot like denim, so I kind of thought this was the right color to choose. We'll see when I get it all together. It should be this weekend. I should finish it this weekend. So that's my very happy accomplishment. I'm almost there. I leave for Boston 1 week from tomorrow. And so next week when you see me in our recording, I plan to be wearing this thing. Although I'll be hot because it's 80 degrees outside. But I like
How
this.
is it that little girl in that picture over there on the sewing machine is graduating from college?
No.
I know, I had to lose.
Well, she did go to college a year early, so that's at least something. But yeah, my daughter is doing her senior recital in Boston, so that's why I'm going. But I really like this. Now, it feels different because of that interfacing. There's no interfacing in this. But so I'm going to sew it together and finish it, and then I'm going to wash that puppy and shrink it up. We'll see how it looks. They're like, pre-wash your fabric so it doesn't shrink. I'm like, no, I want it to shrink, actually. I want it to get all wrinkly and comfy.
With the sleeves being lighter than the body, it'll be like those you know how people wear those downy vests or whatever.
Yeah,
they, you know.
it'll look at first like from afar. It'll look like a vest. These are actually darker.
Yeah.
Than the body mostly. I think maybe it'll be good because maybe that pattern all over would have been too much.
Yeah.
I don't know. Not that I'm letting Quilt Smart off the hook. Don't think that. But so that's me. That's all I've been doing all week. I've been working on that and I'm not getting any sleep. And then when I'm not working on the coat, I'm working on this. So that's me in a nutshell.
All right. Well,
who's going next, Evie?
Yeah, I'm gonna talk about this first. I finished quilting this.
Yay!
Yay! And I trimmed it. I'm not showing the quilting up close because I didn't quilt it well. And I'm really happy.
Finished is better than perfect.
Yeah. I'm really happy with the pattern. I think the pattern looks great. I'm not happy with my quilting. But I'm happy that I finished it.
Yes.
I've trimmed everything. I think it looks straight. I started cutting out binding.
Yay. That's going to look nice. It'll be a nice contrast.
Yeah, I think so. And the heft of the quilt feels good.
Yeah.
It feels like a good weight. So I'm really happy with it. What I am not happy with. This one's not too bad. I finished this one.
Your berries? Oh,
I finished all the berries. But I don't have the pins yet. They're coming.
Somebody, I was watching Floss TV and somebody had mentioned an Erica Michaels, another berry, and I thought, ooh, there's another berry for each collection.
Oh, there are so many. She cranks out those berries. Okay, so you remember this one from last week?
Which one? That's
the
Spring has Sprung.
Yeah.
Right. I thought briefly about taking this apart and fixing it, because here's the thing about artists, is that you concentrate on everything that is wrong with something, and you keep fixing it and you keep futzing it, and you may be correct that there would be other things that would be better, like with the quilting, I knew after a quarter of it that I had chosen the wrong thread and the wrong pattern to quilt, and that I could not, for some reason, sew in a straight line. But I wasn't going to go pick it all out. Right. So my son will just, I said something about trying to finish the quilt, right? And he goes, I am not holding my breath.
Aww. He'll be so happy.
So when it's done, he'll be very happy. He'll shocked but happy. So
and he'll take it to his room and you'll never see it again. So you know.
Yes, I will. Every time the cat barfs on it, and he brings it out. So I finished this berry as well. I think the leaves are a little too long. I'm not sure. And
let me see it. I haven't seen
the
that
rose is a little tall for. I think it's a little too tall.
But it's really cute.
But again, I'm not taking it apart. It's
finished.
Like
it, Eve. I think the leaves are perfect. I think they're perfect.
And
because they're not covering the design.
They looked really cute laying there in a little dough bowl. You know,
especially because the two leaves go to the side of the main part of the design. I think it's perfect.
Mm-hmm.
So
I've never seen it before, and I don't know what it's supposed to look like. So I think it's gorgeous. So I think
so it's waiting for the pins. I have ordered them.
What do they look like?
I think this one required 2 sets of pins. I only ordered 1, and I don't know. I think they're birds or something. I don't remember.
You'll be happy when they arrive. You'll be surprised.
Wait, let's see. A leaf.
Oh, these little guys over here?
And then these over here.
Oh, there they are.
Right here.
A little bird and
these, yeah. And I only ordered 1 set because I didn't like those little round, reddish ones.
Yeah, those are cute. There's little birds.
But at Hobby Lobby, I found some that look like little birdies, and I thought I would put the little birdies in this one.
Yeah.
Oh, in there.
Yeah, and I'm going to put the other ones in that one. And I think this one's fine the way it is.
Yeah,
so
I agree. That's cute.
So those are my berries. They're fully finished. Whether I like them or not the point. They're done. So I am closing in on a finish on this and
the cow.
The cow. I forgot to get the picture of the. You've seen it, but you know. No, well, she'll put up a picture.
I'll put up a picture. If you send it to me, I'll put it up.
I sent it to you last week or the
I
week
know,
before.
just saying.
Anyway,
That's
I'm closing in on a finish. All I have left to do is some white on.
I like that so much
cow.
better. I'm sorry. I like that so much better than the sample in the picture.
Yeah.
In the sample in the picture, I can't even see the cow.
Because it's on white.
But now I see the cow and he's so cute.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And it looks a little like a pig.
When I was a kid, I
had a big nose.
I had an autograph thing, and me and my friends would debate: is it a pig or is it a cow? Is it a pig or is it a cow? It's one of those little autograph things.
It just has a little pig nose.
Yeah, it has a little pink nose.
He has a big pig nose. Anyway,
pig cow pig.
I long ago passed the goal for the WIP-GO, but I keep plugging away at it because I'm so close to being finished. And with WIP-GO, I just said, that'll entice me to finish some of my, never-ending projects, right? Mm-hmm. And I keep buying more projects and I'll work, I'll start something and then, shiny things, I go after something else. And I thought, I'll just put some stuff in there and it'll encourage me to take that out and work on it. And I had started this a year ago and I really love the pattern. It's very cute. And I probably wouldn't have picked it out and started it otherwise. So here I am, almost done with yet another one. I finished the honeybee, which I hadn't even started. And
you're going gangbusters.
Spring berries, yeah. So I'm almost done. And that makes me happy. But I did start another berry. I think I told you last week, right? Did I?
Yeah.
Or did I
because we were
doggy?
Debating
dog.
about whether it was a dog or a bone.
Yeah.
Yeah, she always says something looks like something else. So I did a little bit more on this.
Moron. Sorry.
Purchase. Remember that bench?
Purchase book.
In Albuquerque, there was a
Let's let her talk. Let her talk. She's getting mad.
They would say, when we come back, more on sports.
I'm going to interrupt you as often as you interrupt me, like every 5 seconds.
I was the one who interrupted you.
That time. I'm talking about you both. Okay,
sorry.
So I haven't gotten a lot on this because for some reason, this is 32 count, just like the other berries. But to me, it looks so much smaller, and I'm having so much trouble seeing the right hole. So I have to keep taking out what I put in, and that encourages me to do this to it.
I'm out.
Yeah, so I've been working on this little, the needle is on the wrong side. Hold on a second. I don't know what I'm doing here. Which hole I was supposed to go in. This B. Now this is by Maria Bravko. Again, she's a Ukrainian designer. And this little guy has just stitched up so fast, and he's so cute that I can't resist him. So I've been working on him, but every time I go to find a new color, I bought all the colors I didn't have. But every time I go to get a color, no, it's not the one that I bought. And I bought a lot of them. There's a lot there, right? And there's some more that I finished, but I keep finding color. Oh, what project has that color in it? And I'm going through things to try to I should have just bought them all. It's so frustrating. So I'm plugging away at it. I'm also very close to being done with this. It doesn't look like it, but I am. And
Sorry.
I actually mentioned on is it her or Cross Stitching for Fun? They're also Ukrainian. They had posted a picture of a pattern or something, I don't remember what, it was a free pattern. And I mentioned to her yesterday, see, I do I have a puzzle app, and every day I do the mystery puzzle. I find that more enjoyable than knowing what it's going to look like. And when I finish, I look and see what it's actually a picture of. It was this beautiful landscape, so pretty. And the sun was just on the horizon. I don't know if it was coming or going, but it was just barely there. And I thought, that is so pretty. And it was a picture of Ukraine.
Mm.
And I was just like, it was so beautiful and peaceful.
Mm-hmm.
And I said, and to me, hopeful.
Yeah.
You know, I never really thought about what Ukraine looked like. One of the Ukrainian designers put up pictures, and I'm like, oh, wow. You know.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, I digress. It is now Beth's turn.
Okay.
Let me interrupt.
Yeah,
that
I've
looked like...
I've been working on the baby sampler. My WIP-GO goal for this was to finish it, because I thought, well, I'm close to the finish. I just have the back stitching on the letters, and I have, you know, the
taking
frame.
forever.
The frame went very quickly, the frame piece, but it's the back stitching, because it is a lot more detailed than I was thinking of. But I'm almost done. I'm not gonna move my needle under because it's gonna make a big mess back here. But I just have the last 5 letters, and I'm on the Q right now.
Oh, okay.
But and then I have to put his name and stuff in.
She asked me for his baby stats.
Yeah.
So I sent them to her.
I'm probably gonna do it on the computer because like there's a place in there that says center the name or whatever, and it's like that would require me scribbling all over the thing,
Yeah. Well, that's
It's a
fine.
big hassle. So I've been working on it basically on this only exclusively all this month, but I have another WIP-GO thing, and so I'm hoping to finish this sooner rather than later, because I can only go up until the 20th. On the 20th, I have to start at the very latest. I have to start my other piece, the Sleepy Hollow.
No, you don't.
Well, I don't have to, but if I want to meet my 10 days goal
You will
on
work
it,
on both at the same time.
yeah, I know, yeah. But I mean, if I do it exclusively, then I have to, I have to start the other one by the 20th at least. So I'm hoping that I can have this either, finished by then or finished enough that I can do both of them at the same time. And then the other thing I was doing for April is the April Rabbit. It is nice. It's got these big chocolate colored bunnies, brown bunnies, and it's got a bunch of flowers in the middle. And so, and that's what I was working on today, just to give myself a break from baby sample. And
I think it's hilarious that you're working on a baby sampler. And hopefully, no babies in the future here for a while.
yes, that was funny.
We love babies. We just don't.
I was watching that show, Unexpected. And there's all these, like teenagers in their first pregnancy or whatever, blah blah blah, and it's like, and all these, and the boys that they're with are like, this one was like, you can tell they're like totally not engaged. It seems
of course, happens all the time.
Yep. But the other thing I did was that on my personal YouTube channel, I hit 300 subscribers.
Oh, congrats.
So yeah, the other day, last weekend, that's when we went to the attic.
Yeah.
So I wanted to get something for the giveaway for that. And I also bought some, of these project bags. But, so the person who wins my giveaway will win all of the contents, this bag and the contents therein. And so there's some DMC threads, a pair of scissors, and this little kit that I found at the attic. So it's a
That's cute.
Hoppy Bunny scissor case and fob kit. So you can make a little, it's like a little pocket for a pair of scissors. And
Favorite thing.
And this little fob here to attach to the scissors.
Nice.
So this kit comes with the backing fabric and a piece of linen. Kit contents: 32 count Lugana antique white linen, cotton backing fabric, a skein of DMC 333 for stitching and cording, and then the chart and template and complete finishing instructions, and does not include the DMC colors to make the pattern, which I bought.
Mm-hmm.
So that and the 4 skeins of DMC and a pair of scissors. That's the scissors I got at Hobby Lobby. They're really pretty. They're pink and blue, kind of fade metallic.
That's nice.
Yeah. So anyway, those things are going to be on my channel. I'm going to talk about it tomorrow when I do my update.
Which you can find on our link tree.
Yes. So
you'll find her YouTube channel.
yeah. So there's that.
Congrats.
yeah, and then well, it's funny because like I was like at $2.99, and so I was like, well, I've got to go buy the stuff because I'll be, at 300 in no time, right? And then the next time I looked at my channel, my list I had a new subscriber, so I went, and I thought, oh, well, good, I've hit 300. So I looked at it and was like, it said $2.98, and I was like, oh. And so, but now it says like 302 or 303 or something like that. So I know I'm happy again. But anyway, so I went to Hobby Lobby to get the 4 skeins of DMC because though I got the kit at the attic, they had like one of the 4 skeins of DMC I was looking for. So I went ahead and got them at Hobby Lobby. So while I was there, I got this is a Thea Governor kit. And I was kind of wondering, like, I don't remember seeing Thea Governor at Hobby Lobby. So I didn't know if they took this just out of the kindness of their heart, took it as a return that somebody did, or if it was, because I was thinking, this doesn't have a Hobby Lobby sticker on it, the original price tag, but I think sometimes I've seen, kids.
And you think it's used?
With this. No,
Yeah.
it hasn't been opened. But anyway, but it's on sale. So maybe I don't know. Maybe they had it, in inventory at some other store and didn't get it. But anyway, so it has Ada cloth, and I guess it's from a series.
I was going to say it's got all different kinds of moths on it.
Yeah, but it also comes with a little, I guess it's a note card or something.
Oh, printed cross stitch.
Hobby Lobby might have acquired another
Yeah.
needle shop or something like that,
Oh,
and then while they're working on it, spread a product here and there.
Mm-hmm. But it's like a $30 kit I got for $8.
Oh, wow.
7 something.
Nice.
Yeah. So it has like the threads and a needle and looks like 14 count Ada. And it's for the Emperor moth. But yes, it says gift included in this little note card. In addition to the.
Is it a counted cross stitch note card or is it just a note card?
I don't know. I can't tell.
I mean a printed cross stitch.
She hasn't opened it.
Yeah, I think it's just a card, just a note card. It's not. I don't think it has a chart included. I don't think. But anyway, so yeah,
That's fun.
That's cute. I don't know when I'm going to get to it, but it's neat. I saw it was on sale and I thought, what am I going to get a Thea Governor chart for? Less than $8. So I got that. And I also got this little bundle it's a little fabric bundle for finishing that I never get around to doing. And I got another hoop, I have an oblong hoop like this, but I got another one just because. And then these were also on sale that Eve pointed out to me. And these, I have a set of these, they're thread bobbins. But there's some shaped like a dog and some shaped like a cat. So they were also on sale, so I got those. And I think that's it. I wanted to talk, so we're going into stories.
Yeah.
And so I want to say, today is April 15th. The day that we're filming it. You'll see this on Sunday. It'll be Easter by the time we release it, but today is the 15th, and so there's a bunch of things on my calendar. Today is Good Friday. It's the first day of Passover.
Mm-hmm.
It's also traditionally tax day, although this year we have until the 18th for the taxes, but the 15th is tax day, and it's also my cat's birthday.
Oh no.
My cat's birthdays. One of the cat Snug's birthday is either the 1st or the 8th of April. My friend Tracy couldn't remember exactly when he was born. And then Puck's birthday is estimated to be mid-April. Because when I got it, they found it when I was at work, and the vet that I took him to estimated his age at about 6 weeks. So counting backwards from that was about mid-April. So both of them, I celebrate their birthdays on the 15th. So because I can remember that date easily enough. So Puck is 15 years old.
Wow.
And Snug is 11.
Wow.
So yeah, I've had them for a long time. And and their names come from Midsummer Night's Dream. When I got Puck, I was driving home and he was, crying in the car. So I turned the radio on because that always helped my cat Cyrano. He always calmed down with the radio on. And so I turned it on to see if that would calm him down. And of course it didn't. But they were playing the Mendelssohn
Midsummer
Night's Dream.
Ah.
And so I thought, oh, okay. So I knew 2 names from that play that off the top of my head. Well, one was Bottom, Ned Bottom, but I thought, I'm not going to name a cat that. And the other was Puck.
Yeah.
And I thought, well, that's a good name for a cat, Puck. So I named him that. And so...
he is a trickster.
Yes. And and he's black. He's a tuxedo cat. So when I got Snug, my friend Tracy and his wife Melinda had kittens that they were, wanting to find homes for. And so I told them I was looking for another male cat. And I was looking for a cat that would be able to sort of hold his own against Puck. Because Puck is kind of ornery and very sort of a strong personality. And I thought, I don't want a cat that's going to be cowering under the bed for, or anything. So they brought these 2 kittens over, and they had given all their cats like weather-related names or something. So they had one kitten named Thunder, and another kitten named something like, I think, Moonbeam or something like that.
Uh-huh.
So when they came to the door of my apartment, Puck, his usual like glad-handed self, he always comes up to the door like, "Ooh, the stranger's coming to the house, yay!" And then as soon as they walked in with the cat carrier, and he could like smell the other kittens, he's like, he runs away, But anyway, so they came in and they let the kittens out of the carrier. Well, one of them, Moonbeam, whatever, they had to like pull him out of the carrier, and he went and like hid in the bottom shelf of my bookcase. And Thunder was zooming out of the thing like some like he had been shot out of a cannon or something. And he was like playing with the toys, and he went and he pooped in Puck's litter box, and he was just running all over the apartment. I thought, I'll take that one. And so that was what they were calling Thunder. And so I named him Snug, which is another name from Midsummer Night's Dream. I was trying to think, what should I name him? And I looked at the character list from Midsummer Night's Dream to see if there was something appropriate that I could use on there. And there's a group of characters that Shakespeare called rude mechanicals. So they're like peasant worker, people, whatever, tradesmen. And one of them was a carpenter's joiner, whose name was Snug, like a snug joint. So Snug, I thought that's a cute name. So they're Puck and Snug.
So I have a story. The other day, and I will tell the story.
Oh.
The other day, Beth and I were going through the drive-thru at McDonald's. She was going to get something to eat, and I got a soda. And, you open your window to pay. And in between the pay window and the pick up your stuff window, I noticed an 8-legged creature on my car. And it was relatively large, and on just on the edge of the brace that comes down in the front. And so I'm like, give me something. And I tried to scrape him out because I didn't want to hurt it. I just didn't want it in my car. And scrape it out. I thought he fell inside. I'm not sure still. Let's preface this to say that I don't like spiders.
Never have.
No. And then when I lived in Belgium, the spiders were this big. And, would put those Transylvania webs up every morning, and I'd sweep them off, and the next morning they would be there. and I don't like spiders. And so I was flipping out, and Beth's like, just stop and we'll look and see if we can find it. I think it fell in one of the pockets of the doors. If it fell inside, I couldn't find it. To this day, every time I get in, I'm looking around. But when I opened the door, I went face first into a web.
Oh.
You know, they
A string.
drop that web when they're going down from somewhere, and I'm like, oh my God, he's in the car. And I was trying to look up what kind of spider that was. I didn't see any pictures of anything that looked even remotely like that.
Really? I have a bug book if you want to look in there.
No, thank you.
I could have identified it for you. Should I get a picture? I got bit by a spider, and I
remember.
captured it because I wanted to know what it was.
It
And
was a wolf spider, wasn't it?
no, it was from the mountains, and actually I couldn't find it in my book. It was an unknown species. But
It made her sick.
I got bitten by a spider a long time ago when we were kids, and I just kept thinking, I'm gonna turn into a werewolf or something, or a vampire.
well,
or
we
something.
had gone to the mountains, and I
Yeah.
was driving home, and I felt something, or saw something, and I looked down like that. And I think when I looked down, or maybe it was this way, when I looked down, I smushed him, and he bit me like right here, under my chin, and I was like, oh. And then I saw him crawl down, and he went on my car. So I pulled over, and I had an empty Gatorade bottle, and I captured him. He drowned in the tiny little bit of Gatorade at the bottom, but I captured him because I'm like, I don't know what it is, and if I,
To get some disease.
yeah. And then I wound up
Or if you
with
turn into a werewolf.
I wound up with an infection in one of my teeth.
I think it was from the
The
spider.
doctor said, "Oh no, it's because you had a broken tooth." But I think maybe because I had a broken tooth, it allowed it to happen because it got really bad, and he was worried about like an infection in the whole bone of my jaw or whatever. But yeah, but that was my only scary spider bite I've ever had. But
Yeah, when I was a kid, I think Eve had just gotten had gotten a short haircut, and they had I remember her talking about like she had razor burn or something, that they had like shaved the back of her head, or the base of the neck, and so she had been complaining, earlier in the day, and talking about razor burn from this haircut, and then that night I was dreaming, and in the dream, the back of my neck was stinging, and in the logic of my dream, I was thinking, oh, it must be razor burn, and then in my dream, I was thinking, but what? Why would I have razor burn? I didn't get a haircut, and I woke up, and the back of my neck was stinging, and I was like, ah, and I reached back there, and there was a little welt there, and then beside my bed on the wall, there was a little spider. I was like, ah.
Well, yeah,
It freaked me out.
We lived on the west side of Albuquerque, and when we were young, it was very rural. Isn't the right word, but there was a lot of
You're on the edge of the mesa.
there was a lot of
Undeveloped areas. Yeah.
and so we would get a lot of spiders.
but never any scorpions. There were never
No.
scorpions
No,
there.
No,
It's only
we didn't
here.
get scorpions.
Yeah.
I saw one.
In Albuquerque? Really?
Yeah, we were playing in that arroyo. Anyway, it's probably why I can't stand spiders. I had a blanket that would go down the sides of my bed, and I was up against a wall, and there were constantly spiders crawling up to that thing.
Oh.
And I don't like my bed being up against a wall. I mean, it is here because there's no option, but for that reason, I don't like it.
Yeah.
Because it just makes it easier for things to crawl.
last night, speaking of walls and things, last night I was up late stitching.
Oh, shock.
And I had my TV on, but it was, it was kind of low because it was the middle of the night, and I'm, just trying not to be loud. And but I had my window open, and so there was something about the Titanic. I guess it's around the anniversary time, whatever. I don't know. But anyway, so there was this special about the Titanic on this particular channel, and so I think I had dozed off, and then I woke up again, and I was stitching, and had the thing on, and heard his voices, and I thought it was, at first I thought, because it was kind of like a dramatized version of the story or whatever, the show. And so at first I thought it was like, like crowd noises on the, on this thing. But then the more they got into it, I thought, well, that doesn't make sense. What is that? What are those voices? And so I hit the mute button on my remote, and it was the people next door.
Yeah.
And they were like very loud, just talking. And it was like, I thought it was like 2 or 3 in the morning.
Yeah.
And I thought, what the heck? Because they weren't doing it before. It wasn't like an ongoing party that that went on.
So what happened?
And so I thought, well, was there?
I think she just heard people
the
talking.
Police come or something like that, And I thought, well, but this is a gated community. It would be kind of unusual for a robber to break into your house and have to call the police, whatever.
Citizen said there were people fighting on the next street over.
But so and they got very loud at one point. They were very loud, and then finally, they seemed to quiet down and whatever. And then this morning, at some point, there were voices again. They were talking again, and I think maybe they had like family or something come to visit because of the Easter holiday.
Oh.
Is what I'm guessing.
And they couldn't stand being inside anymore, so they had to go outside and fight.
No, but they weren't fighting. They were just talking very loud or whatever. It was having a good time, I'm assuming. But yeah, I was very surprised because she's a very nice lady that lives next door to us, and usually they're not loud at all.
Yeah.
And one of the reasons I was paying attention this morning is because there was a bunch of doves, and the neighbors like bougainvilleas, blooming or whatever, and growing, and so the little wall that separates us, these little doves were like flying up there, and they couldn't get through the bushes because it's so overgrown. They were like trying to walk through, and they're like, and my cats were like bug-eyed looking at the birds, and but then I heard their voices again. They were congregating out there, I guess. But,
oh my gosh! So it's a funny story. My son Eli, we grabbed him from work on Wednesday. So I got my booster yesterday, and the reason for that is that we're going to Boston. Well, obviously you should get it, right? But we're going to Boston, and they require that you show your card and fully vaccinated and boosted. And I'm like, I don't want to jeopardize anything, so I'm like, we better go get him. So I had ridden the bus into town on Wednesday, and I thought, you know what? I'm just going to call Eli and have him meet me at the bus station. Mm-hmm. We'll ride the bus home and go get our vaccines over near home where we know where everything is, and then I'll just take him home for dinner, after dinner or whatever. And so I called him on his way into work, and I told him what we were going to do, and of course he didn't have any, he didn't pack, but it was because he was just going to come down and get his shot and go home. And so I called Mark, and I was like, from the office there, I'm like, why don't you, let's just try to at least schedule Eli for one, because some places do walk-ins, but I didn't want to risk it, And he wound up scheduling himself, but not Eli. And I was like, why don't you schedule him one? Because by the time we got to CVS's, it was already 7 o'clock, and they're like, we don't open any more vials for walk-ins, and so you have to have an appointment. And I'm like, so I found a 24-hour place, and we scheduled it, but it was for 9 o'clock at night. So I said,
That's why
well,
you guys ended up coming so late. Huh?
yeah, I said, well, let's eat dinner. Then we'll get your shot, and like, well, you just sleep in your dad's shirt and just crash, and we'll take you back the next day. And so anyway, so we were driving around. We were on the bus on the way home, and Eli has a new iPhone watch, and he loves it, an Apple Watch. And so he's talking about it, and he was like, I don't know, he asked me if his dad would wear one if he had an iPhone. I'm like, I don't know, he won't wear watches, he hates watches. And I said, I swear, I don't know how he got through. I said, I even asked him the other day, how did you get through college? With no, because right now he'll say, I don't need a watch, I have a cell phone. And I said, but how did you get through college with no cell phone? You know, and no watch. And he's like, I don't know. Mark said to me, so I was telling Eli this story, and he goes, what did he use? A sundial? It made me laugh so hard. He's such a funny kid. I'm like, oh my gosh. That's so funny. But and Mark's like, I think maybe I just had cheap watches that I hated. I'm like, yeah. But it was so funny. What do you use? A sundial? He goes, well, I mean, that's one way. Like, this made me think of Fred Flintstone, because he had a sundial on his wrist. Remember? That's how old his dad is. This is a story. You'll notice we have no McDonald's cups this week.
Yes.
No.
Yeah.
It has been a day.
Okay, so I worked this morning, and we planned to have lunch here, and then we would record. So Eve said, I'll order, and then we'll have it delivered, and by the time you get, you know, because I went home to get my junk, and then came over here, and I was getting in the car to leave from my house, because I had gone and let Quilter go to the bathroom and everything, and I set my alarm. Let's make a note of that. I set my alarm in the house, and I was in the garage getting ready to leave, and Eve calls me. She's like, for some reason, the food came, but your food isn't here. And I thought I ordered it, but it didn't go through. So I had no lunch, and I said, well, I'll just go get it. You know, I'll just go get it, and then I'll come over. So she ordered it for me. So I went to the place and got the food.
I didn't realize you'd ordered
Yeah, she
it.
just called it in for me.
So that it would be ready when she got
when I
there.
walked in. So I went over there.
To try to make her come here a little faster.
And she goes, and because everything had gone snafu, she's like, don't worry about McDonald's Cokes. We'll just drink whatever we have in the house. I said, okay. So I get the food, I get on the freeway right there, and I'm headed over here. I get off the exit, and right as I get off the exit, I get a message from Eve, I get a call from Mark, and I get a message from Rachel. Because everybody is on our ADT list, emergency list. And they're like, your burglar alarm's going off. Because everybody gets notified, and then ADT also gets notified. And then if we don't respond, then they send the cops, right? So everyone's calling me, and I'm like, I know I set the alarm. But part of me is like, maybe I didn't close the back door. Well, I thought I was going to go home and Hobbs was going to be gone. Or at least in the backyard going, whoop. So I turned around and went all the way back home. Came in. Everything's locked. Everything's closed. My son's front window, there's 2 windows in his bedroom, and one of them, because they're both named front bedroom, we can't figure out which one it is. That's failing. But it's failing. So they were closed, everything's closed and locked, and the little connectors just, I guess, are failing. So we got to get those replaced. But so it was a false alarm. So I sat down and ate, and then I texted Eve like, I don't want to go to McDonald's. Because the McDonald's by my house is one thing, but the McDonald's over here on the way to your house is
my goodness.
horrible.
That's the one where the spider was, by the way.
Yeah, last week I went, and there was also a mouse there about a year ago.
You were there, what, 15 minutes?
No, longer. I think I was there 20, 30 minutes.
For 3 sodas.
For 3 sodas, and it was horrible. And then I paid the money, and I'm sitting at the pay window.
And it's not like she goes through at at the height of the
No.
lunch or dinner hour.
And I paid at the pay window, and then there was cars stacked up at the, to get your stuff. And I'm sitting there with the pay window right here with the guy, and I almost opened my window and said, "Can you just go get my clothes?" So I'm like, I'm not in the mood because I
Wasn't
feel.
that also the same week where we got flat sodas? Well, we were
Yes.
here filming with flat sodas.
Yeah, we were
all of
like-
us were going.
These are flat. So I'm
I think I saw a bubble in mine.
one bubble, but it didn't taste good. But I was like, I don't feel good because of the shot, and then having to go back and forth. I'm like, I don't want to go to McDonald's.
I said that's okay. We have a lot of soda.
So I have my gnome cup.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cup. But so Hobbs tails. You want a Hobbs tail?
Mm.
So he's always, like I said, he went under the bed and read the manual that Pippin left behind that says how to wake mom and dad up so they can feed you, or just because if you just want to be annoying. So the cat will be dead asleep on the couch. If I'm up late knitting, sewing, he'll be conked out. And as soon as I go to bed, then he's all over. Even if I feed them, right? So his favorite thing to do, which Pippin instructed him, was to go into the bathroom and bang, bang, bang on the door, right? So one night, I'm like, because Mark's response is to get up and feed him. I'm like, no. That's the wrong thing. Because that teaches him when I do that, I get food. So I'm like, no. So I got my spray bottle and I set it to a long streamer. And one night he was bang. And so I just, from my bed, I can squirt right into the bathroom, right, just his butt. And he's like, oh, what's that? What's that? So this happened like 2 or 3 nights. So last night, I see him, he goes in there, and he goes like this, bang, and he runs away. Before I can even get to thing now. And I'm like, okay.
He is very
And
smart.
then he goes back another time, he's looking around like this, and he goes, bang, and he runs out. Darn it. He figured it out.
So my dog, I had to take back to the vet. She keeps scratching and licking and scratching and licking, and she has licked holes in her skin.
How come he doesn't put a cone on her?
I don't know. I even asked him.
And what did he say?
He ignored the question. I think he wants to get rid of the problem, not prevent her from.
Yeah, but at least while you're getting rid of it, you can
I don't know.
give her time to heal. You could just go get it.
So, well, she's not scratching and licking today because she started prednisone again.
Oh.
But they did a skin scraping this time that there's bacteria there that is just making her crazy. So she's back on antibiotics.
Oh,
But
baby.
so we're at the vet, and she was happy to be there, just looking around. She likes the vet. She doesn't care about going there. And then she comes back in. She's all like, I'm thinking, what did they do to you? Because I didn't go in, because here in Phoenix, it has been blowing wind constantly. And with that wind is tons of dust off the mountain.
Pollens. Yeah.
And pollen, what is that green tree that?
Palo Verdes.
Yeah, those yellow flowers are just flying away. And so I have been wheezing and coughing for days, and so is my dad. So I'm like, I'm going to go in there coughing, and they're going to think I have COVID. So I elected to stay in the car while she went inside. And then they call and talk to you. You know, the consultation is just over the phone. So when she came back out, she was all sad and quiet. And I'm like, is that the wrong dog? My dog is not quiet. You've heard her.
Yeah.
She is the wiggliest dog I have ever had. She is one ball
You can't
of
take
energy.
a picture of her.
No, because she just, you know. and I'm like, do I have the right dog? What's wrong with that dog? Because they didn't give her anything. They didn't give her any shots or anything. It was
Yeah.
just a skin scraping.
They're just hurting.
Maybe. I don't know. But, yeah, so she, last night, no snoring, no scratching. I'm like, are you alive? Where? You know, because the allergies that she has just make her snore louder than my brother. And
I wonder did he ever say, like, if there's any kind of allergy med you could put on?
well, at first, the very first thing that we did was we started with Benadryl.
Yeah.
And while that was effective, it was not as effective as we would like. And so then we tried this really expensive shot, which was not effective at all.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Oh, no.
And so in between, I think we tried prednisone before and it was effective, but they don't want to keep her on that long term because...
Have they talked to you about maybe bathing her to calm her skin?
Yes. And
Because that's what they gave us for Calvin.
Mhm.
And he actually took it well.
yeah,
He's a cat.
this dog hates being wet. So I don't think she would take it well. I would have to literally get in the tub with her and shut that glass door to keep her in there.
Yeah.
But she's doing better today. I'm hoping that he put her on a longer course of prednisone and a longer course of antibiotics to see if that'll stop it.
That's good.
Because it wasn't until we got to Baylor Street that she ever was really itchy and started losing hair.
Huh.
So who knows what triggered it.
Well, it wasn't until we moved here. We'd been here for a while, like maybe a year, because I have pictures from
Snug's.
2018 of Snug, and he didn't have, he wasn't scratching.
Maybe his was also stress because you were so sick.
Maybe. I don't know.
Maybe.
I was gonna say, when you were wondering about if you had the right dog or not, it reminded me of when I had Hotspur and Cyrano. One time that we went on a cruise. We went on a cruise, and so I didn't have anybody to watch the cats. So I thought, well, I'll board them, because we were going to be gone for like 10 days or something, so a long time. So I had arranged. I had called. I had never boarded them before. So I went to this. It was a local vet in Little Rock, and I looked at their facility, and walked around, and they took me on a little tour. And so when I took them, I said, I want them both in the same cage. They were brothers, Hotspur Cyrano, from the same litter, right? So I wanted them in the same little cage, and I took an old T-shirt of mine. I was very, fussily, and I took their bowl, and Cyrano was on like some kind of special food or something, and
Because he also was bald.
because yes, that's a long story. But anyway, so I took them to this place, and they were supposed to have, both of them were supposed to have like a flea bath shampoo, and while I was gone. So I was supposed to pick them up like at, I don't know, 2:00 or something that day. And I was running around doing some errands and stuff, and I was going to be in the neighborhood of the vet's office around noon. And so I called them up, and I said, would it be okay? Will they be ready if I come by at noon to pick them up? And they said, oh yeah, that should work. So I went by to pick them up, and there was somebody there at the counter, and I said, I'm here for Hotspur and Cyrano. They're 2 tuxedo cats or whatever. And so they went back, and some kid, some teenager or some young boy went back to pick them up. And so he brought out the carrier that they were in. They were both in the same carrier. Brought them out, and he was carrying it. And so he said, well, I'll go ahead and put it in the car for you. So I had a sedan at that time, so he was going to put it. He said, "Oh, it's safer here in the back seat." So he put it there on the seat of the back of the car, and he went inside. And I, being the fussy mother that I was,
Good thing.
I
Good thing you were.
I went to the carrier and I, looked in to say hello, and I'm like, this is not my cat. There's one of my cats, Hotspur, and he's sitting next to this other cat going, I don't know who this guy is.
I guess I have a different brother.
So I'm like, this is not my cat. So I grabbed the carrier and I went in.
Did it even look like him?
He was a tuxedo.
Oh, no.
But I mean, and Hotspur was an average size, good
So who
size
was
cat.
in the kennel?
Hotspur
was in the kennel with some strange
cat. And Cyrano, Cyrano was
They're
a
lucky
considerably
they're
smaller.
lucky that Hotspur didn't attack them.
I know, yeah, they could have had Thunderdome inside there. But so I go inside.
I'm just like, what the hell?
I go inside and there's nobody at the counter. So I'm like, the lady that was there when I got there, she wasn't there. The kid wasn't there. And I'm like, it's just like ringing the little bell, No, I don't think it was even a bell. I was waiting, waiting for somebody to show up. And so finally, I think that lady that was there at first, came in. And I said, this is not my cat. And so she's like, oh no, I'm sorry. And so they went, and what it was is that Cyrano was in the dryer, the little drying cage. And so
they
the
just
kid
grabbed some random.
This is a tuxedo cat. This is a tuxedo cat. That must be it. And so and I realized their food bowl wasn't there. I think because I had were on some prescription food. Cyrano was, and so they were both eating it, and some. I had this. It was like this oil thing, this little pump of oil that the vet had prescribed, and so I had taken those. So I guess they found the food, but the food bowl, I think, was not there.
What the heck?
And the little T-shirt that I had sent wasn't there. And I think the toys, I had sent a couple of toys and they weren't there.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so they I don't know if they gave me money or took something off the bill or whatever to compensate for the fact that they lost all that stuff. And I'm like,
what the heck? And gave you the wrong cat.
Yeah, I ain't never, and I never went back there.
No.
And it was, the thing is that it was the vet that. When I got them, I got them at a pet store, which I do not recommend to everybody. But this particular pet store, they had the fancy animals, but they also would sell what they called patio cats. So if your cat had kittens, and if they were of a certain age and had shots or whatever, then they would, I guess they would sell them for you. Yeah, they would sell them for you, or they would take them off your hands or whatever. So that's how I got Hotspur and Cyrano. But so they came with a free vet visit. I guess in case they died, they could recompense you or something. But they came with a free vet visit, and it was at that vet, and it was a perfectly nice place, I'm sure. But I was like, whoever is working in their boarding facility, I ain't taking them back there.
You know what? To me, it's like people who don't pay attention to detail.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Like, you'd think caring for someone else's animals would be a place where you need to pay attention to detail. Mm-hmm. And that kind of thing drives me crazy.
Yeah.
Well, just like here in Phoenix, that place that killed a whole bunch of dogs.
Yeah, because their air went out and they didn't check on them.
They didn't check on them. The air conditioning
over a whole
went
weekend
out
or something.
Jeez.
A whole bunch of people.
100 and something, 110, 15.
A whole bunch of people, they board their dogs there. And to be fair, it wasn't a horrible place. Mm-hmm. But they were the
it is
the
if
person,
you don't check on the dogs.
The person that
weekend.
Owned the place actually was somebody well known, but he was letting somebody else run it, and he wasn't there.
Yeah.
And he was out of the state, out of the something, And so this happened, and those, you know, if you are not financially invested in making sure things go right, sometimes you let things go. And this time, somebody letting things go caused the death of a whole bunch of dogs.
I don't even remember how many it was.
It was a lot of dogs. It was, and this guy almost faced criminal charges, the owner, but he got off of it.
What was nice is that the place where, I guess after that, usually with Hotspur and Cyrano, there was a lady from church whose son would come and watch them, or friends or whatever. And like with Puck, when I first got him, there was a vet next door to our office building, a Family Life, and he boarded there once or twice. And then by the time he was old enough to get neutered, they had gone out of business.
Yeah.
But there was one kind of in our same neighborhood of the office where I boarded them once, and you know, and it was a nice new facility with like those like laminated surfaces instead of metal, you know.
Yeah.
And so it was, and there was like little pass-through things, you know. You could book a little kind of a suite room, you know, 2 rooms instead of a little tiny cage or whatever.
Yeah.
But so yeah, it was much nicer there to board.
That sounds nice.
Yeah.
When we went to Greer, we boarded Hobbs, Calvin and Hobbs, and they were in a kennel at the vet. But I was glad that they were at the vet.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I only boarded my cats once, Savannah and Tomala.
Yeah.
Wasn't that time when we boarded? Didn't we board the 2 of them and Hotspur and Cyrano at a place in Paradise Hills?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that place had the cat area was round, and the inside part of that round thing had a play area where the cats could go and play. But the outside of it was all the kennels, and there were different sizes, and I got a larger kennel that had, you know,
So the
climbing
cats
area.
could get away from each other.
Yeah, because Savannah and Tomaluk tolerated each other, but they did not like each other. Tomaluk was very, very pointed in telling Savannah.
Ornery.
Yeah, he's a lot like Puck.
Huh?
He's a lot like Puck in my memory.
No, he was not worse than Puck. He used to beat up Savannah all the time. If I didn't get up and go feed the cats when Savannah came and gave me a CAT scan, he would attack her because obviously she was not asking correctly or because I had not gotten up. And I remember once Dr. Rager said, "Stop letting him attack her." And I'm like, he doesn't ask my permission. You know? I'm not letting him. He just does it.
Well, this morning, in the early morning, I'm dozing off, you know, because I thought, well, I don't have to get up right away, you know. I don't want to, you know, because I took a shower this morning. I didn't want to kick my dad out, you know, so I was letting him, you know, take his time and do whatever before I went in there to take a shower. And so you know, I didn't have to get up early. So it was like 7 o'clock in the morning, and so I'm there, you know, dozing off, and I hear this crash, and it was Cyrano had, you know, Snug. Snug gets up on my little what do you call it, nightstand, and you know, he's always kind of fussling around in that corner, you know, wanting to knock things down and get, you know, and he had knocked my purse down.
Oh no.
And so that was when I heard crashing, and you know, like you wake up like what's going on? You know?
So, do you remember I said I was not almost done, but almost done with this bee?
Yeah. You done?
No.
Did you do it wrong?
This whole dark line is one row too far down. So I'm trying to decide, do I figure out how to fill that in? Or do I take out all of this, the little feet, and because I have half of the feet done.
Put in another row or something.
I figure I can just put another row of this tannish color stuff. I don't know. I was just like, ah!
Oh no.
Oh, why do I always do these things?
Well, that's like, so talk about that. So when I started this sweater, I cast on, and it's not a lot because it's bulky, but I cast on the edge. And then the hardest row, in my opinion, of any sweater is the very first row of ribbing, because you have to make sure that you're doing 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls. If you get distracted and you do an extra one, you don't know it until you're coming back around the second one. So I had, and I think, so I had made some mistakes, and I think I don't know what I did. If I just, so then the second round, you know, you feel like, okay, I can just knit what I see, right? So I knit the knits, purl the purls, and go around. But then, so this was the second round. I guess I didn't notice. And I get to the end, and it's supposed to be an even number. You're supposed to end up with 2 purls at the end, and I wasn't. So I thought either I cast on 1 too few, or 1 too many, or I messed up the pattern.
Mm-hmm.
So I had gone to watch her at rehearsal, and it's a 3-hour rehearsal. So for the first hour, I sat there trying to figure out what I did. And because I had just taken this, and I only had a couple of, so the ribbing's done on a smaller needle than the body, and so I had the small needle and the body needle, and I actually had a couple of different sizes lengthwise in the bag. So I didn't, because I didn't have a crochet needle, because I just grabbed it and went.
Mm-hmm.
So there I am with a knitting needle, which is very hard. So I just decided to go. I counted, make sure I had enough, and I did. So, and then I found, you know, I knitted up to the mistake, took it off the needle, laddered down to the cast on row, and picked it back up the right way. And then I'd knit one, and then the next one I'd have to fix as I was off by 1, a whole way around. And then I kept going, like, I'd miss one and be like, oh, now I gotta go back. And it was annoying. It took me forever. And as it was, even so, the calculations tell you to cast, to figure out, based on your gauge, which means how many stitches per inch and the size you want the sweater, you do the math and it tells you how many to cast on, because the cast on for the ribbing needs to be only 80% of the full amount. So you do the ribbing at a smaller amount of cast on stitches, and then you grow it to the body. And so, but the cast on, if you're going to do a knit 2, purl 2 rib, needs to be divisible by 4. And so the percentage that I was supposed to do was 122, but I knew that it needed to be divisible by 4, so I made it 124. But when I cast it on, I had it in my brain that it was 122. So I cast on 122. So then when I got to the end over here, I was like, I don't have enough. So I just did make one, make one. So you can see, like right there, there's 2 sections where I just made stitches. But it's like one of those things, like you just gotta like, I cannot do this again, because I had just fixed the whole thing. And I'm like, oh heck, I'm just putting in stitches.
When I was doing this,
no one's gonna know.
this back stitching.
Well, everyone knows now.
Oh yeah, that's true.
On this, when I was doing the back stitching on this thing, I kept, I was going, wait, you know, because like you know, when I'm going along, you know, I kind of have a plan for, you know, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do that, and then I'll do this, and it'll, you know, so I end up more or less in the right place, and then I you know, either I doze off, or I have to go get up and go to the bathroom, or I do something else, whatever, and I look and I'm like, in some of these, I'm like, wait, did I actually do that stitch, or is
What
it?
was I doing?
So I'd have to open it, like kind of, spread the stitches apart to see if if I could see the dark thread of the back stitching in there or not or whatever, and then actually I found a couple places where I had not done enough, when this little Jack in the Box guy, his one hand, I had left off 2 stitches of white, the last 2 there, and then somewhere else I had left off.
You're like, it's 25 years old, who cares?
Oh, on this F is for flower, there was like four empty stitches there. I guess I had thought I would come back because it's a different color. That I would come back and do those colors, and I was like, they're not there. So I had to go and find the thread for that color, and fortunately it's all DMC, so but
you could just do whatever you want, really.
Yeah,
so what did you decide to do? You're just gonna.
So I went back and
no, I'm talking to you. What'd you
I'm
decide
adding
to
a
do?
row.
Oh, okay.
I don't feel like taking all that out.
No, and it doesn't hurt the running.
Well, and it's not just one color.
Yeah.
So yeah.
That's all right. No one will know. Well, now everybody knows.
I know.
It's just a little bit taller.
That's like in Encanto where she says, I know. I was thinking about how that house is a euphemism for a family. And it starts showing cracks when people are not allowed to be themselves.
Yeah.
When people are not, where the expectations of everybody just gets to be too much.
You know my theory about that movie?
That the grandmother is the
The
villain.
grandma is the villain. Because there's no villain in that movie.
I don't think there's a villain. I think a lot
She's
of
not
times
a villain, but she's the catalyst to the problems.
I think a lot of times we pile a lot of stress and expectations on our kids and on our family. And how Isabella, she's the perfect golden child, right?
Yeah.
That in itself comes with stress.
Right.
And
what I never understood, and I kept watching it, I'm like, what's her face? The main character, what's her name?
Annabelle?
She never got a power.
Yes, she did.
No, she
Her
didn't.
power was the house.
But, I mean...
See, because...
But she never got a power.
She doesn't have one that is evident in that she can, make flowers or be stronger than everybody. But she was the only one that could see.
Yeah.
She was the house. She was the one that saw that people were, like, the strong sister.
Yeah.
Couldn't tell her anything about what was causing the problems. She could just say, well, I'm under a lot of pressure. And that didn't really help her figure out what was wrong. It did. But, I mean, her response to that was to hug her and say, you're just carrying too much.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Somebody posited the idea that
I don't know where my phone is.
that the cousin that hears everything, that she had to have known Bruno was there and purposely hid it, and that she may have just said that boy wanted all those children because she knew it would upset her cousin, and that she said a lot of balls rolling. People are, because she could hear everything that was going on,
Right.
everything that everybody was saying, and so she was able to manipulate people.
What'd you say?
I've never seen this movie.
Oh, that's okay. It's good. It's good.
Yeah, so I don't know. I just...
It's an interesting study.
Yeah, I think it's an interesting study on family dynamics and what causes families to fall apart.
What was I going to say? So my current obsession movie-wise is Tick, Tick, Boom. I love that movie so much. And it's because it's about failure. It's about how you deal with failure, really. And it's a really neat story about Jonathan Larson, the theater composer. But I kind of like it because you watch someone whose life completely falls apart and how he deals with that and sort of comes back from that. It's really, really, and it's tragic at the same time. But it's really good, so go watch it. That's my reco for the week.
Well, it's Good Friday.
Yes, I need to go
Things
because
are going on.
I got my booster shot and I want to go home and lie down and sleep. That's all I've wanted to do all day, and I had to go to work because my boss is in Mazatlan having a vacation, so I couldn't.
I'm going to the Good Friday service at church tonight, so I have to go figure out what I'm going to wear.
I'm gonna go home.
If I've got any clean clothes.
I'm going to take Dad.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to stay with Dad.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But so we're gonna go, but we hope
I'm
we have
worried about Dad.
Yeah, he's having a rough time.
His day has not been a good day.
Yeah. But we hope you guys are having a great Easter
Yes.
weekend. And we will see you next week when I'll have one foot in Boston by the time you see me next. So
And that coat will be done.
the coat will be done. The coat's gonna be done. I got it. I realized I don't have snaps. I gotta get some snaps.
I have plans for Beth's coat. This is getting very close to done, and I thought about it, and I thought I am not going to cut. I want that. Yeah, quilt. Sorry, I want that quilt. The snowball star quilt.
The hummingbird.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I want it desperately, and it is on my WIP-GO, but it would be easier if I just finished the other tops I'm already working on.
Yeah.
And work on Beth's, because I could get some of this pile off of here.
Yeah.
And with Tim coming,
Oh yeah, our brother's coming.
Yeah, so this week is our dad's birthday, his 90th birthday. So my brother's coming, and we're going to have a little picnic and celebrate him. So we got that this week, and which means we got to give Tim a place to stay somewhere. Somewhere.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Next week. Bye.